Okay, let's dive right in. We all hear about water signs being the super emotional ones, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, the Zodiac's sensitive souls.
Right, that's the popular take. But honestly, it's a bit of an oversimplification, isn't it? When you dig into older traditions like Hellenistic astrology, the picture gets way more nuanced.
So it's not just water emotional.
Not quite so simple, no. Think of the four elements, water, fire, earth, air, as different ways of interacting with emotion.
Okay, break that down for us. Water signs.
Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, yeah, they absorb emotions, like sponges, really. They're receptive, they soak up the feeling in the environment, it's an immersion.
Got it. So fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. They seem emotional too, but differently.
Totally different vibe. Fire is about expression, energy. Their emotions are often intense, maybe even dramatic, but they can flare up and burn out relatively quickly. It's dynamic.
Okay, like a flash fire versus a deep lake. What about Earth? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They often get labeled as stoic.
Well, stoic might just mean they process differently. Earth signs tend to experience emotions through their bodies, through physical sensations. They need practical, tangible responses. Feeling grounded helps them process.
Ah, so the emotion needs to be real in a physical sense for them. Makes sense. And air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the thinkers.
Exactly. Air signs tend to approach emotions intellectually first. They analyze, they rationalize, they try to understand the idea of the feeling before maybe fully letting themselves feel it. Thoughts often precede the raw emotion.
Interesting. So water absorbs, fire expresses, earth grounds, and air thinks. But you said there's more.
Oh yeah. This is where it gets really fascinating, and it's something often missed. A guy named Vettius Valens, way back around 175 CE.
Wow, ancient wisdom.
Seriously ancient.
Yeah.
He emphasized the modal quality of the signs, basically how the sign expresses its energy. Is it cardinal, fixed, or mutable? This dramatically changes how the element's emotional tendency plays out.
Modality. Okay, remind us what those mean again.
Sure. Cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, they initiate. They start things. Emotionally, they often initiate the feeling, set the emotional tone.
So Cancer isn't just watery, it starts emotional waves. Got it. Fixed signs.
Fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, they sustain, they hold on to things. Emotionally, this means their feelings can be very deep, stable, and long-lasting. Once they feel something, it tends to stick.
The emotional anchors.
Okay.
And mutable.
Mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, they adapt, they flow and change. Emotionally, they tend to adjust to the environment, reflect what's around them, shift their feelings more readily.
Wait, this is huge. So combining element and modality. Cancer is cardinal water, initiating emotion. Pisces is mutable water, adapting to emotion.
Exactly. See the difference? It's much richer than just saying water sign.
Mind blown. All right, so considering all this element and modality, who actually tops the charts for emotional responsiveness? Let's get to the ranking.
Okay, based on this deeper framework, looking at that sensitivity, that capacity to feel, here are the top four. And number 4 might surprise some folks.
Lay it on us. Number 4 is
Pisces. Okay, maybe not that surprising, it's still a water sign, but it's mutable water, ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. Their strength is that incredible permeability. They feel everyone's feelings, sometimes to the point where boundaries blur.
like emotional osmosis.
Totally, it's not just being sad, it's emerging. And get this, there was an fMRI study in 2021. People with strong Pisces placements actually showed about a 32% higher neurological response to emotional stimuli. Their brains are literally wired for it.
Whoa, science backing up the stars. Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is Cancer. Cardinal water, ruled by the moon. Their emotions are deeply connected to security, safety, belonging. Feelings often come out as protective instincts for themselves, for their loved ones.
The cosmic mama bear.
Kinda, and they have incredible emotional memory. Past experiences, good or bad, really color their present reactions. Their heart keeps detailed notes.
Makes sense why they value home and safety so much. All right, the runner-up, number 2.
Number 2, Scorpio. Fixed water, traditionally ruled by Mars, now also associated with Pluto. We're talking intensity and staying power. Scorpio emotions are deep, sustained, and often incredibly transformative.
Transformative how?
They don't just feel intensely, those feelings become catalysts for profound interchange, psychological digging, getting to the root of things. It's like emotional alchemy, powerful stuff.
Deep, dark, and ultimately powerful.
Okay.
The tension. Who is number 1? The most emotionally responsive sign according to this framework.
And taking the top spot, drumroll, is Leo.
Leo, get out. A fire sign. Fixed fire. I was sure it'd be another water sign.
That's the twist. Leo, ruled by the sun, is fixed fire. Their emotions are a direct, powerful expression of their core self, their identity. When a Leo feels something, it's often expressed outwardly, authentically, sometimes, yes, dramatically.
So it's not attention-seeking necessarily.
Less about seeking attention and more about emotional honesty. It's like, this is me, this is what I feel right now. It's a very immediate, externalized expression, quite different from the internal processing of, say, Scorpio or Cancer. They wear their heart right there on their sleeve.
Wow. Okay, that completely reframes Leo's emotional style for me. So, sun sign, element, modality. But you mentioned there's still more influencing our emotional reality.
Absolutely. We've only scratched the surface. Your sun sign is important, sure, but it's just one piece. To really get the full picture of your emotional landscape, you need to look deeper into your birth chart.
Deeper
Like your moon sign, for starters. The moon governs our inner world, our gut reactions, our emotional needs. Where your moon is by sign and by house tells a huge story about your sensitivity.
So someone could have, say, a practical Capricorn sun, but if their moon is in Cancer.
Exactly. That person might have a really rich, sensitive inner life that isn't immediately obvious. A water moon definitely ups the emotional volume, regardless of the sun. And the house the moon is in shows where those emotional needs play out most strongly: relationships, career, home life.
Right, the areas of life.
Yeah. A moon in the 12th house, for example, can suggest really deep, maybe subconscious emotional currents. So you could have a bold Leo sun, but with a Cancer moon tucked away in the 12th. That person might be way more sensitive internally than, say, a Pisces sun with an Aquarius moon, which tends to be more detached.
It's all about the interplay. Fascinating. What else besides the moon?
We also need to look at Venus and Mars, the planets of love, values, action, and desire, and how they relate to each other in your chart. Astrologers call these relationships aspects.
Like, are they friends or enemies in the chart?
Kind of. Aspects like a smooth trine between Venus and Mars often mean your values and actions flow together easily, leading to more harmonious emotional expression. Challenging aspects like a square can create inner tension, wanting one thing but valuing another, which can lead to more emotional friction or difficulty in expressing feelings smoothly. It shapes your response patterns.
So the planetary dynamics affect how emotions actually come out. Okay, and you mentioned one more factor.
Yes, the overall elemental balance in your chart, particularly having a dominance of the water element.
Meaning lots of planets in Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces.
Exactly. Not just sun or moon, but maybe your rising sign: Mercury, Venus, Mars. If you have 3, 4, or more planets in water signs, that creates a strong underlying emotional sensitivity throughout your whole personality, even if your sun sign is something supposedly less emotional, like Sagittarius or Gemini.
So a Sag sun with like a Cancer ascendant, Scorpio moon, and Pisces Venus
Is likely going to experience the world far more emotionally than, say, a Cancer sun, whose chart is loaded with air and fire placements. It's the whole picture. And interestingly, studies, like one from 2018, have shown a correlation between people identifying as highly emotional and having significant water placements in their charts. It validates this principle.
People kind of know their own charts intuitively sometimes. Okay, this adds so much depth. But what about the signs we don't think of as emotional, like the air signs you mentioned earlier?
Right, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Here's another interesting layer. Because they tend to process intellectually first, it doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. It often means there's a delay. They might analyze and rationalize, but when the feeling bypasses that mental filter...
Floodgates.
Sometimes, yeah. Especially with Aquarius. Fixed air, ruled by Saturn and Uranus. There's this paradox. They can be very focused on humanitarian ideals, group feelings, intellectual concepts of emotion. But when a deeply personal feeling breaks through those defenses, it can be overwhelming. Traditional astrology called it emotional flooding.
So the detachment isn't a lack of feeling, just a different processing style that can get overwhelmed.
Precisely. It explains why sometimes the most seemingly detached people can have incredibly profound, if perhaps infrequent, emotional experiences or breakthroughs. It's not about not having capacity, it's about the pathway the emotion takes.
This is brilliant. It really emphasizes that every sign has emotional depth, just expressed differently.
Exactly. There's no unemotional sign, just different emotional languages. Ancient astrology recognized this. Each element has its own emotional genius, you could say. Water has empathy, fire has expressive passion, earth has stabilizing presence, air has understanding.
Emotional genius, I love that. So knowing all this, how can we actually use it? How do we work with our own emotional nature based on our chart?
Visit the links in the description below.
Yeah, definitely click the link in the description. We've got a tool there where you can get a free emotional profile based on your entire birth chart. It goes way beyond just the sun sign to give you these deeper insights we've been talking about.
It's super helpful. And once you have a sense of your dominant elemental energy, you can tailor how you manage your feelings. For instance, if you are water dominant.
Lots of feelings, very absorbent.
Right. The key is boundaries. Frame that sensitivity as a strength, an intuitive gift, but practice protecting your energy. Ancient astrologers even had visualization techniques for psychic protection, which modern psychology actually validates for highly sensitive people or empath. Create that energetic bubble.
Okay, good advice. What if you're fire dominant? All that intensity.
Channel it. Fire needs expression. Creative outlets are fantastic: art, music, drama. Also, physical movement is crucial. Burning off that intense energy physically aligns perfectly with traditional advice and modern stress research. Dance it out, run it out, whatever works.
Move the energy. Makes sense. Earth dominant. Feeling it in the body.
Trust those signals. Earthy folks need to honor their physical responses to emotion. Grounding practices are key. Gardening, cooking, spending time in nature, literally getting your hands dirty. Process feelings through tangible action and connection to the physical world.
Get grounded. Literally. And finally, air dominant. Bridging that thought-feeling gap.
Communication is key. Journaling helps writing down feelings, forces you to translate the intellectual concept into emotional language. Talking it through with someone trusted also works. A simple technique is emotional naming, consciously identifying and labeling the specific feeling. Okay, I think this tightness in my chest is anxiety. It helps connect the head and the heart.
Great practical tips for everyone. This really drives home that it's not about being too emotional or not emotional enough.
Not at all. It's about understanding your native emotional language and becoming fluent in it. Astrology gives us a fantastic map for that journey.
It really does. It's about recognizing the unique emotional wisdom inherent in every single sign, expressed in its own way.
Beautifully put.
So if you found this dive into emotional styles fascinating and you're wondering how these differences play out in, say, relationships and compatibility.
Ooh, that's a whole other deep dive.
Right. Let us know in the comments if you'd be interested in exploring zodiac compatibility through this lens of emotional responsiveness. We'd love to tackle that next.
Yeah, definitely tell us.
Thanks so much for exploring the cosmic feelings wheel with us today. Remember to embrace your own unique emotional wisdom. It's one of your greatest strengths.